Aveni. This is Gina Costigan, and I'm coming to you today with 50 and Fabulous, What You've Learned Through the Trenches, sponsored by Main Street Mortgage. And I'm here with somebody that I met just recently at eWomen, but I've had the opportunity for the last 20 minutes and last week to really dive in and get to know her a little bit better. And I feel so fortunate because this person that I did meet, I think that we have so much in common. Our core values align, and just what we're really doing out there for women and supporting women. I think we really have a lot in common. And I'm just honored that I met her, and she was sitting at my table at eWomen, and now we are here today at the podcast. So I'm welcoming Joy Aveni. Yes. So welcome, Joy, and thank you for being on today. And like I said, last week was just kind of the first time I met you. You were sitting at the table, and when you said, what you do, I'm like, I want her card. Because, they say bring your cards or you'll learn more about that, but just don't get everybody's, only get the ones that you think, that you really have somebody that you really want to work with or align with. And I felt that right away. I'm very happy that you're on today.
Yeah, me too, Gina. Thank you. And I felt the same way too. And I like the fact that you're not just passing out cards.
Yeah.
You're finding a connection. And then when there's that connection.
Yes.
So I feel the same way.
I think that's important too, because we all get so busy, and everybody is so important, I think, in that room, and any networking that you're doing, we're all there for the same reason. And we're there to meet people and network and see how we can work together, align together, and just meeting people that you have something, I think, in common with helps as well. And all my networking in the last, 30 some odd years of being out in the field and so forth, I've learned what works, I think, and helps with, your business as well as your personal growth. And I just think that it's all kind of connected here. So I'm just going to jump into a couple of things. First, I want to say that Joy is the mother of two twins, a boy and a girl. I think that is so cool. They are seniors, so they're knee deep in college stuff, and their names are Finn and Diego. So tell me a little bit about Finn and Diego.
Oh my, polar opposites.
Okay.
And I think that's what I love about them is that they, because when you're twins, you are almost like rock stars. So when you meet people, there's expectations that come with it. You must be best friends. You must have a secret language. Do you everything you love the same? And I think there's a pressure, but I think they've done a really good job of really being their own individual selves. And I've really focused on making sure that, they had separate classes. They're actually in different high schools because they're so different and their interests are so different.
That is one of my best friends from high school. Just recently, her twins are 16, and she's in the Bay Area, and she just now has put them in different high schools. And it has been, for one of the girls, night and day. And it's really helped her. So I think that's really important. And like you say, they're opposites, and people do have expectations because
they do.
Hers are identical too.
That's different. Like I always explain to people that for mine, it was just like your brother and sister being born at the same time. Yeah. But you're right, with identicals, then there's that expectation of, do they dress the same?
And she dressed them alike for a long time.
I know. Yeah, I get it.
I did that with my girls, and they're 4 years apart.
Yeah.
So. I look back at all the pictures. So we have kind of defined, and we talked about your career and so forth, and you are definitely a lifestyle coach. But tell me, you have some personal transformation. What was the turning point that made you realize you needed to change your life, both mentally, we talked about, and physically?
Yes, I actually can remember that day fondly. So for the first 25 years of my career, I was in fashion. And I loved it. And it I was traveling all over the world, which was my passion. And so that's why I found a career that fed into that. And so I was very busy, I split my time between, New York and LA. And so by the time I actually, got married, and we eloped, I eloped to Africa when we were 40 and got pregnant on our day of our wedding. And by our year anniversary, we had 2 4-month-olds.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. I feel very, very blessed.
Yes.
And they're the reason why I actually left fashion and went into a whole health and kind of fitness field. So one day, just speed ahead, at 51 years old, I woke up and I was really trying to minimize my fashion career. It was demanding. I wanted to spend more time with my children. By now they're 10. And I was able to do that. I launched my own brand. I had a showroom in downtown LA, but I was still wearing multiple hats. And simultaneously, my relationship was struggling.
Yeah, big time.
It was struggling for a very long time. And I just put everything on the back burner, including myself and my health. And so one day when I woke up at 51 and I realized that if I didn't take control of my health, one, I'm an older parent. I wanted to be on this earth for a very long time.
Right.
And two, what was I modeling for my children? Our children don't necessarily listen, but they watch what we do.
They watch everything. You are the examples.
You are the example.
Yep.
As this was happening, my nephew, who's the love of my life, I'm 16 years older than him, launched a coaching practice. And he was very successful. And he thought it was something that maybe I could go into, because I told him there was nothing, I couldn't make any move if I wasn't at home with them.
Yeah, just make changes and be
right, yes. And I had always been very active. I trekked and climbed Machu Picchu. I've done a lot. I roller skate. There's a ton. I've always been active. But I kind of, again, put all of that on the back burner. So when we spoke about it, I thought, well, it's something that I can, I kind of would like to maybe think about. And I waited and waited, and I finally did a health program that felt fantastic. And it was from a mental space along with making healthier choices and habits as a lifestyle. And in 6 weeks, I felt fantastic.
And that's hard too to make, because I had to make a lot of changes quickly too. And it's hard. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. You need to do it. Hard. But when you're told you have to do this, at the same time, it's just like that. Those are a lot of things, but then if it's going to be better for you in the long run, maybe you're not thinking of it at the moment, but then in 6 weeks, you saw a transformation.
I did. And I think it really goes back to, for me, having a really deep why. Why did I want to make this change? It couldn't be, well, I want to look good in a bikini for summer. It was, I needed to leave a career that was burning me out so I could focus on my children and make a move.
Right. And you said you wanted to be around for them.
Yes,
I mean,
I wanted to be around.
I want to be a grandma. So I want to be a grandma, soon, but that's not happening. But anyways, I just want to be around for them as well. I mean, my parents were young grandparents, and I think that it's so cool. So, but you have to make conscious decisions of what you're doing, because stress and sleep are all components, and we all have stressful lives. So how do we put that into a compartment that makes us more credible, but yet makes us more proactive in keeping ourselves healthy?
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to modeling, right? If we're not modeling those healthy habits for our family, how are they going to follow that?
Right. And that's what I was saying. Both my girls they're fanatical about their health. And, it's nice to watch, because it could easily go the other direction. And I think, watching them be healthy and taking care of themselves and working out and all that stuff is so important, down the road.
Absolutely.
And I agree 1,000% that we have to make healthier choices, because, our children are reflections of us too. So I think it's important either way.
Well, it's that ripple effect, right? So when they have children, right? Your grandchildren, you want them to be, and it's really a lifestyle approach. Like you said, it's really working from the neck up.
Yeah.
Because to make changes that maybe you've had for 20 years, habits of 20 to 30 years, will not happen overnight. And we are in a society that immediate gratification.
You're going to do this. You're going to lose weight in 6 weeks if you do this.
Yes.
Or there's so many things that I've tried too, because when I went on medication, they had told me at the time it has one of the side effects was weight gain. I'm like, yeah, right. I mean, I'm just a person that could eat anything and was thin, and 20 pounds later, it wasn't that I was hungry. I was ravenous on this medication. Yeah. I'm like, what the heck? So I really had to learn through this medication that I know if I eat the way it makes me hungry, then it's not going to be a good thing. However, you just got to follow a program, and that is, what to do. It's high protein, it's water, like we were talking about. But it's hard to do sometimes.
It is. And I think there's, so many people are very dogmatic on what program they should do.
Right.
I think it's what works for you.
Right.
Right. And both you and I believe in high protein and a balance and rooted in, really working on our mindset
Mm-hmm.
and moving our bodies. And so, yes, this really spoke to me.
Yeah.
And I have scoliosis. So
Oh,
6 weeks later, I lived with daily back pain. Now, it wasn't horrible, but I felt it every day. And this was 7 years ago. I have not had back pain since. And so
gosh,
that was,
I need to know what that is, because myself and Alani over here are suffering for some back pain today.
yeah.
But I'm so impressed by all this. So we talked about coaching vision. How did you approach helping women post 50 find their second act? I love this. Where are some of the common challenges they face? I think the 50 and fabulous, like we're doing, but
Yeah.
50 is supposed to be the new 40, right? So how are you working with this, and what are some of the challenges that you're seeing out there?
It's so funny because, we attract, right?
Yeah.
We attract. And I have a huge heart for women. I think because I put myself on the back burner. I haven't met one woman that had not put everyone before them.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Right. As a woman. Right. And so for me, I just was like, you know what? This is my mission. This is my mission because I know there's so many women out there like me, either coming out of a relationship, coming out of a divorce, empty nesters. I don't like that term, but it is what
It's
it
hard.
is. Right? Right?
I'm an empty nester. I have a roommate, but she's my best friend,
Which is so amazing.
which is awesome. But no, it was a very big transformation.
So I noticed the women that I was attracting were these women, or maybe they wanted a career, they had a demanding career and they didn't want to stop working, but they wanted to do something more purpose driven.
Right.
And so I just kind of started attracting these type of people, and I really enjoyed working with them, because how I coach is I don't coach anything I haven't personally experienced. And so it just really started becoming my mission because it really felt good.
Yeah.
I wanted to get up in the morning. I wanted to speak to those women. I wanted to partner with them. I feel like my gift is when I meet someone, I want them to feel seen and heard. I'm looking in their eyes. There's a cell phone on the table. And I don't think a lot of people get to experience that.
No,
so I make that my mission.
Everyone's so busy. Even if you're in a meeting or if in a big group, everyone's on their phones, or at dinner tables, it's like, put your phones away if you're out to dinner. Or it's just, the phone is such a thing, and social media, like we talked about, and the perception of social media. I'm so glad I didn't have this when I was younger. I mean, I didn't even have a TV in my room when I was younger.
Either did I, or a phone.
I have a TV though, and my whole home is full of TVs, and that's my fault too. That's my fault. So you were in the fashion career. How did your experiences in the fashion industry influence the way you view your body and wellness today?
That is such a great question that no one has ever asked me. But when I think about that, I feel that the 50s have been liberating for me. You're right, being in the fashion industry, it's like the entertainment industry. You're definitely judged on how you look. Right. There's ageist philosophy running throughout, from working in a showroom, making sure you look a certain way. And you put that pressure on yourself too, even though it was exciting and I loved it. It was a common thread.
And this you did for 25 years.
I did for 25 years. Wow. Yes. And so, also being raised in Southern California in the 80s, the whole supermodel, craze, never loving your body. I look back at pictures going, that was crazy.
Yeah, because I'm from the Bay Area, and I have to say it was really shocking when I moved here to Southern California. I didn't have, because I came straight from college, having a great time too, moving down here. Didn't have any friends. My mother-in-law was my best friend at the time. She still is, but one of my best friends. But she was my dearest friend, and I would cry every Friday night because my ex-husband was like, what is wrong with you? I just missed, at the time, I didn't realize all the pressure I was put myself into. And I was having my child and newly married, and it was the white picket fence, but yet it was a new place,
Oh, absolutely.
And so moving down here, everybody was blonde and this big, and I was pregnant, and I'm like, I hate it, But
we're just, women. Our society, we're always judged.
Yeah,
right. We're always judged. But what I feel that something happens in your 50s.
I agree 100%.
Excuse me. That you just don't care anymore.
I was going to say, I don't care. That's why 50 and fabulous.
Right?
What you learned through the trenches was back here. But now that you're 50, I've learned so much more, and I'm such a different person compared to 30, 40, in such a different place in my life, that I hate to even say it out loud sometimes, that I feel like liberated and happy, because I'm afraid if I say that something bad's going to happen. But it's been a long time coming that I actually said, I freaking am happy.
I know. And I hear that a lot from women, that the post 50, it is liberating, not so concerned about how they look per se, but feel good in their skin. Maybe they're not getting ready and dressed to, for when they walk into a place. They're more getting dressed for how they feel. So it's very interesting, but I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I know it's definitely been a different change. And I think for, like we said, a lot of people, I think it's after COVID, things changed too. But I think it is true. You have to feel good for yourself. And
it starts on the inside.
It starts on the inside. But that was a long journey for me. Yeah. And it still is a journey, but it was a long, long one. And I think, though, the older that you get, you just have to feel good about yourself and what you're doing. And if it's, on a Friday night, I just love being home and with the candles on and watching my shows.
Right.
But I don't want to do anything after a long
And there's nothing wrong with that either, right?
But it's taken me a while to say, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing? Nothing. Even my mom says, what are you doing tonight? Nothing. I don't want to.
And I think the other thing that's amazing about women is that we finding like-minded women, like you have your, health and wealth, and you have your groups. When you're around women that are on the similar path of really not wanting to slow down and wanting to make a change, and again, be purpose-driven, you feel that energy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if men have that as much as women.
Well, we're different too. We assimilate so well with our girlfriends. I think we talked about this. Like, I want to travel with my friends. I do travel with my best friend. We just got back from a cruise for my birthday in June, but we've traveled together a lot, and I've traveled with my daughters a lot, and it's so fun. And I'm enjoying this part so much that I just can say, let's go to Catalina for the weekend, or Sedona, or let's, whatever we can do. But just being with them, it's so nice to be with women and my friends. And like I told my daughters, you're two of my best friends now.
Right?
Now that you guys are adults. But it's fun, and it's just been such a transformation to go through. I think always to feel like pressure that I have to be doing something, or I have to be, hanging out here on the weekends, or busy.
That's true. You're right. The pressure.
I really am like, I'm with my family it's either my parents, or we watch football games, or we're at my sister's house watching games, or they're at my house, or we do birthday parties. But that's kind of my happy place. Yeah. And every weekend I have dinner with one of my daughters, it seems like, and my best friend. And it's kind of like, wow, this is just kind of nice.
It's pretty nice.
It always was a lot. And, maybe slowing down a little bit. I don't know. But like you said something when we were talking before, that you're going to work as a life coach forever.
Oh, yes. I want to be known as the oldest living coach.
And I think that's great. I love to work with women, wealth, and health, and working with women for the rest, for the duration. I think it's so important that we support one another. And I think the more that we find, like you said, like-minded people and like-minded women supporting one another is such a huge thing. We all need that. And I think it's a passion of mine, and I can see that with you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay, let's jump into some more fun stuff. So it said, starting over at 50, what fears or uncertainties did you face when starting a new career, and how did you overcome them? You did a big jump, you said.
I did a really big jump. I'm kind of a late bloomer. On one thing, I think what I have on my side is I'm impulsive, and I don't take a long time to make decisions. But on the flip side, I'm impulsive. Right. And I don't take a long time to make decisions, right? I left my career. I took a sabbatical, and I left and just backpacked through Europe solo for 6 months at 31. I got married at 40. I had twins at 41, and I reinvented myself at 51. So I've always kind of just been that late bloomer. I never attach an age to what I do.
Right.
That it never stops me.
It's a stigma.
Right. Like when someone says, oh, can I wear this at this age? Like that doesn't cross my mind. So the age part of it has never been an issue. I think just kind of like, wow, what am I doing? Here I am leaving a fashion career. Are people going to take me seriously going into this field? I just finished certification with the National Academy Sports Medicine for aging actively to help women post 50.
I remember you saying you work with elderly people too.
So I want, and I'm also, next week I'll be certified. I'm an enrichment leader with the dementia memory care population. So because of that, I feel that I can bring so much. So that helps me too. Coming from a field, like I said, fashion
to doing what
exactly.
you're doing now. It's like
and so I want to bring as much value as I can to these women, and having a healthy brain and having muscle and being strong. We can build that indefinitely. And all this data is coming out now. So that's really become a core practice of my of really supporting my clients, especially in their 50s, where you don't have to slow down. Right. You can have 50, 60, 70, 80 can be your best decades. Right. So, learning all of that and bringing that. So I think for me, really, really continuing the educational part and learning that I can bring more value gives me more confidence as I make those transitions. And
definitely, like you said, learning. I think we're never old to learn and to keep growing.
Use that brain.
Use the brain. Like one of my best friends that lives in the Bay Area who has the twins. A lot of my friends had kids later on than I did. And sometimes I laugh because they're saying they're working on homework with them. I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm waiting for, I'm doing a wedding and maybe a grandkid over here. So that's kind of where my brain's at. But she does have MS, but you would never know just by looking at her. But she's not driving anymore. And she was making a smoothie the other night when she called me. I go, what are you putting in it? She goes, brain food, Gina. That's all I can drink is brain food because of her MS. But no, but she's just super healthy. And, she goes, I put anything green in it. I'm like, okay. Yeah. But I just thought that was so cute. It's true. Brain food. We try and eat healthy and try and do the right things. But there's so much more than I think just the nutrients that we need to feed our brain with, too. It's surrounding ourselves with positive
it's purpose.
Women or
absolutely.
Positive people. Because if you're around negativity, it brings you down and it changes the whole narrative. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get down to a little bit more of the nitty-gritty here, and this is self-care rituals. What are your personal, non-negotiable self-rituals that keep you grounded and healthy? I like that one.
Yes. No, that's a great one. It is funny because this is something that I work on with my clients, like morning and evening routines. Your morning routine actually starts in the evening. It's really, for me, as cliche as it sounds, is getting a really good night's sleep. Yeah. And the data has come out very strongly, especially women past 50, when it comes to brain health, the importance of getting that sleep. So that starts the night before, of really getting away from any type of blue light, even if you're reading on a Kindle, just maybe if you can stop an hour before. And have that slow down time. So I have a book next to my bed with a little light. It's a book that I love. I love reading, but I can only read it before bed. And so my ritual is to read that. Maybe takes 10 to 15 minutes.
Then you get tired.
Then I get naturally tired, and I do not have any technology in my bedroom.
Wow.
So there's no phone. I have an Alexa for an alarm. No TV, nothing, no technology. Wow. And the same with my children. I've modeled that with my son's a little bit more challenging with that. But so it starts the night before. And when I wake up, I always go to bed with a large glass of water next to my bed. So have that water because you're dehydrated from sleeping all night, right? And I wake up and I just am full of gratitude that I opened my eyes. My parents are not here. My children didn't meet my parents. And so I'm so thankful that I get to open my eyes and have another day on the planet. So I really start from that gratitude place. And then from there, I start making my coffee. I do some exercises.
Right. And you have your routine. Okay, I like that. So, my ritual is a little different because I do have TVs in every room, but I do go up at the same time every night.
Yeah,
it's
that's
a ritual.
Good. Yeah.
It's a ritual. I like 9:45 because once I start the process at 10, washing the face and all that, but I do get really tired. But if I sleep until up until 6 or 7 straight. Sometimes, 6:30.
That's great.
I'm amazed by that because it's not till 11 that I actually fall asleep. It takes me a while to come down a little bit and get rested, but that's a good night's sleep for me.
Absolutely.
So, but that was part of what I had to go through when I found out I had epilepsy was sleep.
Yes.
And that was a huge part why I think the seizures came on so strong because I wasn't sleeping. And that's what I've had to learn. It's a whole ritual of many different things for me, but if I don't do them, I wake up not feeling so grateful because my feet aren't on my bedroom floor, they're in the hospital.
Right.
And so I told you today marked the 4-year anniversary of my last seizure, so I did wake up. I wake up a lot of times just happy I'm in my, like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah,
but today just,
too.
you know, it was like, you know, you wake up and you feel that milestone. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing.
What a gift.
Yeah, I don't want to go backwards. And I like to drive, so, you know, it's nice when I have my license. So
yeah, that helps to get around LA.
I had to learn. Uber was my best friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And my beautiful daughters. And my dad drove me every day, too. It was pretty funny. And I had a lot of great friends, too, that would just make sure I got to different places. But you learn.
Community, right?
The community is
huge.
It was awesome. It was amazing. Overcoming self-doubt you talked about. So when launching your coaching business, did you experience self-doubt with that? And how did you manage to push forward?
Well, as I said, I think I have probably self-doubt every day, right?
You did tell me that.
You know, I look at obstacles. You know, we're always faced with obstacles as a place of growth. So anytime that I'm questioning maybe my ability, if any of that pops up, I think about, okay, why am I doing that? Why is this happening? Is this a place of growth? And so I really kind of sit back and look at the whole picture.
Right.
But it doesn't stop me from moving forward.
Right.
It's almost a place of reflection. Why is that happening? And it really it's taken a lot of time, a lot of inner work to get to that place, because I do feel that life is full of, obviously, challenges. But that self-doubt maybe is just, okay, why is that happening? Let me reflect on it. But it cannot stop me from moving forward. Right. And so that's just how I've really processed it going forward.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, everything that you've done so far, you've made such changes. You are such a naturally just like happy, you know.
Well, my name is Joy. I don't have a lot of choice.
I'm
named after an adjective.
I love it. See, it fits you. All right, well, in closing, how did dialing in your habits in the initial 6 weeks set the foundation for everything that followed in your personal and professional life? Because you said it was 6 weeks.
It was 6 weeks. You know, I have to say that when I was prior to that, and I was in my, trying to slow down my career, and everything was very challenging. I would come home at night, and I would have a glass of wine, right? I wasn't having a glass of wine to enjoy it.
You were having a glass of wine to be.
Exactly. I was having a glass of wine to escape.
Yeah.
And then it became 2 glasses of wine every night. And I thought, what am I doing? And I wasn't eating. I was sleeping 2 hours a night. I was the mom because I wanted to be so present. I was volunteering at school. I'd leave my showroom, and I was the one that would grocery shop. If you could ever go grocery shopping to Ralph's, if you forgot something, whatever, I was the one grocery shopping at midnight. Okay. Those 24 hours, right? Yeah. And so I
really were having some.
Yeah, it was not
healthy.
It was not a good time, and like I said, I just one day thought, what am I doing? What am I doing? And like I said, what am I modeling? So what was really beautiful about my coaching program was it really emphasized the power of habit. And so what I do with my clients is I do habit stacking, because most of the women I meet, they're busy. The last thing they want is, okay, now go to the gym for an hour. No, we're going to take where they're at and how we create these healthy habits within their lifestyle. So my healthy habits were, I didn't have time to go to the gym. So, okay, what can I do at home? Well, I have weights. I started doing weights at home. Mm-hmm. I used to be, oh, no, you have to go to the gym to work out and build. That's not the case.
No,
so I really, absolutely.
I learned that during COVID too.
Right? That's where COVID was really, absolutely.
The Peloton came in.
Absolutely. So it started with really working on your mindset. That's a big part of it, because if you don't change how you look at things, if you don't change how you react to things and eat from an emotional space, it's very hard to create new habits. So I dove into every podcast, YouTube, personal development book. I mean, every morning I read a little bit and share that. I end my day with a book I love, and I start my day with a personal development or a book on the latest neuroscientist on brain health or whatever. But I'm always feeding my brain.
You're always learning.
Yes. And so that's the habits have to start with, why am I doing it?
Right.
The point of it, because you have these habits, like I said, that you've had for the last 20, 30 years. So you have to give yourself grace.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time.
It does take time.
And that's why I think for my coaching practice, what I give, I think the most value is my time. When I bring on a client every week for 45 minutes, I give them, if they're in person or on a Zoom, and we work through the life book, the book I work through on habits. And that's a big part of it. And the self-talk and the shame that we tell ourselves. It's a big part of my coaching practice, along with nutrition and building, muscle and balanced mobility. But those habits take time. So a habit stack is when I go to bed, I have my water next to the bed, right? And that's my trigger, the water and bed. And so just like when my clients are in the morning getting ready to get their teens off to school or go to work, they're making coffee. I'm having them do push-ups against the counter. I'm having them doing squats. So they're just, right? Let's use up that time and not scroll on your phone. Yeah. I'm guilty of that.
That's true, though. You do all that.
The habit stacking was really helpful for me. And again, because I don't implement anything I don't do. It was very, very important for me. So when I was driving, I used my car as a university. I didn't listen to NPR music anymore. I listened to podcasts. Anything that I could help myself move forward and fuel my brain. And so that's really a big part of my coaching practice is habit stacking.
Oh, everything that you said today, I'm just so impressed. And everything that you're doing and, working with women and starting at 50 and just always educating yourself. And, you can't teach someone unless you've actually walked the walk. I like to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So
absolutely.
I'm very, very impressed with you. And I'm so grateful that I've had the chance to get to meet you. And hopefully you can come to the next Women, Wealth, and Health.
October 24th, I'll be there.
12:30 to 2.
Absolutely.
Okay, Joy, I am so grateful to meet you. And I do love your name, Joy, because you are full of joy. And I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your week.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure.